What you guys got another video on how to keep your Windows 10 computer working after support ends. Now, if you've got an old PC that's running Windows 10 and the support is ending, you can see your version of Windows has reached the end of support. Your device is no longer receiving security updates. If you're in this situation in the future, or if you want to add a new lease of life to your old computer and you want to keep using it without having to replace it with a new computer, then this video is for you. Because today I'm going to show you an alternative which you can use, which is called Zorin OS. Now, Zorin OS 18 has just been released and we're going to be downloading it, creating a bootable USB flash drive and installing it onto your old computer. Now, this is a completely different operating system to Windows. This is a Linux distribution which you can use, and it is a viable option for people that have old computers. So if your old computer is not compatible with Windows 11 and you simply don't have the money to buy new computers or new hardware to upgrade your PC, then using something like Zorin OS 18 is going to be an option for you. Now, you can see right here they do have a Pro version, and this Pro version is a paid version. It basically has 8 premium desktop layouts and it has a bunch of other pre-installed applications on that build as well. So you can see the price right here, but they do offer a free version which does have enough for most people, in my honest opinion, and we'll take a look at the free version in this video. So all you need to do is scroll down here and you can see Zorin OS 18 Core for basic use. That is the version we're going to be installing on our PC. They also have Zorin OS 18 Education with educational software for schools and students. So if you have a classroom full of older hardware which isn't compatible for Windows 11, you can use the Zorin OS 18 educational version. You can join their newsletter here. It's free to join. I'm going to skip it for this video, but again, you can join it if you want to. Next, we're going to download Rufus because we're going to need to create bootable USB flash drive with our Linux distribution on it. So let's go ahead and download the software and get it installed on our PC. So just hit the standard version here. You can use the portable version if you wish. If you see an advert like this, you can just close it off and that software should now start to download. It'll look something like this. I've got a USB flash drive plugged in to my computer and you can see I'm going to select the ISO file that we've just downloaded right here, which is Zorin OS 18 Core. We're going to click Open. Now, the partition scheme is set to MBR for older hardware. This is for BIOS or UEFI, and that's perfectly fine. GPT is more for modern hardware, but we're going to be using the MBR version right here. The volume label is just the name of the actual ISO that we've just downloaded, and we're going to leave all these other settings as is, and then once we're happy, we can now click on Start. Once we click on Start, this is going to start to pop up a couple of boxes here. You can see ISO hybrid image detected. We can leave this right in ISO image mode recommended. Click OK, and it will say this image uses syslinux, and it give you the version number there. We're just going to say yes here and let that download what it needs to download. It's going to then warn you that it's going to overwrite all the data on that USB flash drive. We're going to click OK to continue. I'll speed this process up, but it does take a bit of time to create your bootable media. Once it's done, it should say ready, hit the close button, and then boot to that actual USB flash drive. So we're going to try or install Zorin OS here. If you have an NVIDIA drivers or NVIDIA graphics card on your system, you can use this option right here. We're using an Intel onboard graphics, so we're going to go ahead and do the try install Zorin OS option right here. Once we've done that, we can push enter, and this will start to boot up to our USB flash drive. You'll see a bunch of text coming up on the screen, which is pretty normal. Now, the good thing about Zorin OS 18 is you don't need very high-end hardware to run this operating system. Once we get to this install box here, we can see try Zorin OS, or we can install Zorin OS. We're going to be installing it because we want to install it onto our computer. But you can try Zorin OS and have a look at it before you commit to the installation. But we're going to go ahead and click on Install Zorin OS to get it installed on our PC. Choose your language on the left-hand side, and we'll go ahead and we'll click Install. Now, even if you've never installed Linux before, it is very simple to install, and I'll show you basically step by step here on how to get it set up. It's very simple and easy to do. All you need to do here is choose your keyboard layout for wherever you are in the world. We're going to be English United Kingdom, and that's fine right here. And we can then click on continue. But there's some options available here. If you're somewhere else in the country or in the world, you can choose your options that suit you. Once we've done this, we've got updates and other software. I'm going to leave these two checkmarked. This is to download updates while we're installing Zorin OS, and we can install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. You can participate in their census if you want to, so just checkmark it to participate in the census or uncheck it if you want to opt out of the census. But if you do want to send anonymous information to them to help them improve their operating system, then leave that unchecked. So next you need to choose your installation type. This is to erase the disk and install Zorin OS on your system. This is a clean drive, so we're going to choose that option right here. They do have some advanced features on here, or you can choose something else if you want to create and resize your own partitions yourself and choose multiple partitions for Zorin OS. You can go ahead if you're more advanced and choose something else. For the beginner, we're just going to use the first option, which is erase disk and install Zorin OS. There's some advanced features here like use LVM with new Zorin OS installation. If you want to go through and encrypt your drive and all that sort of stuff, we're leaving that off for now, and we're just going to use this other option. But like I said, for more advanced users, you might want to choose this option right here, which allows you to create and resize your partitions. But for beginners, we're just going to go right here and choose install now. And this will then go off and start to install Zorin OS onto our hard drive. It's going to give you a warning saying write these changes to your disk. This is just to confirm what you're going to be doing, and we're going to just confirm that and continue. Now we need to choose where we're at in the world, and I'm in London, so we're going to go ahead and leave that as is and click continue. Now we need to create our name for the account, so we're going to go ahead and put one right in here. I'm just going to put Britec inside here, and this will give us our username as well. And you can change this to whatever you like on your machine. It's entirely up to you. Give yourself a little password and you should be pretty much good to go. It's going to say weak password because I've used a simple password here for this video. You can log in automatically, but I would leave it on this setting right here and then click continue. Once this is done, it's going to go ahead and start to set up your system. I will speed this process up, but you shouldn't miss anything. It will look something like this. And now we can log in for the first time. So there's our user account. We just need to put in the password that we created right here to log in for the very first time, and it will boot up to the desktop. And as you can see, this is Zorin OS 18. It's a nice clean look. If you're not familiar with it, you can go through the start tour right here. If it's the first time you've installed a Linux distro, it's very simple, and I'll navigate around here and show you some of the features that it has so you can get familiar with it. But take some time to get used to it. You can always install this on a virtual machine and have a play around with it before you commit to installing it on your computer. Remember, you can always install Windows again if you need to on that old computer. You don't have to stay on Linux if you don't want to, but give it a go. If you've got a really old computer and you don't have the money to buy a new PC and you want to give it a new lease of life, then this is probably one of the best options for you if you're coming from Windows. You've got a very familiar menu system right here, and you've got all of your usual stuff like home, desktop, documents, downloads, and so on. So let's take a look at the Zorin appearance. So you can change the appearance here. You are limited on the free version, but they give you 4 flavors here to choose from, which you can just click on, and it will change the look and appearance of Zorin OS for you. I'm going to leave it on the very first one, but you can see you can change this to whatever you like. If you want to get more desktop layouts, you are going to have to commit to the paid version because the other options are available, but then you would have to pay. But the free version is plenty enough for most people. You can even add a dark mode on here if you want to and give yourself a dark theme. I do like that look, but for this video, we're just going to leave it on the daylight mode here so you can see more clearly. You can change the accent color on here as well. and there's some other settings in here you can have a mess around with. But all in all, it does look very nice indeed. There's some effects on here as well. If you want to go into here and use the effects, you can do. There's jelly mode. This basically wobbles it about when you move it about. And I'm going to turn that off right here. But again, that is a nice little feature there. And you also have desktop cube here. You can toggle this on, and I'll show you how that works. There is some settings on here to mess around with, but we're going to go down to the bottom here on the right hand side, click on this, and it will put the desktop cube mode on, and this will allow you to rotate it onto another desktop mode right here. And if you've got a really low end system, this will still work perfectly fine for you on that system, because Linux is a pretty lightweight system. So there's some other effects on here, but let's go ahead and click on the desktop here. This is your adjust your background, and you can see icons on your desktop. If you need larger icons, you can change all that just as you could inside Windows. You can also add in some icons like home, recycle bin, and also mounted volumes and servers, network servers on your desktop if you want to have them on there. Also, we've got some other options right here. If you're familiar with Windows, then you may be familiar with this option right here. And this will allow me to drop this particular section into the location where I'm dragging this across, just like you could in Windows. Now, I don't particularly use this feature on Windows. I turn it off. But if you do use this feature and you've used it in Windows, then you have this option to use it inside ZorinOS 18 as well. And there's also some options which you can toggle and toggle on and toggle off if you want to. You can just go through and turn off what features you want and what features you don't want in ZorinOS 18. And there's also a taskbar settings area here inside style. You can change the margins in the panel style or the border radius right here. If you want to change that, you can do by just sliding these along right here. So you've got full control inside here of what you want. And again, you can see override panel theme background opacity down the bottom there. That's all grayed out. But there's some options here like your position as well. And you've got the general idea. You can go in here and you can mess around with these settings to customize it the way you like if you want to. You'll notice inside here, we can put it on the bottom, the top, the left, or the right. As in Windows 11, you can't do any of this stuff. So you do have that option back given to you inside ZorinOS 18. And that is the behavioral area here. Just like you would have in Windows 11, you would have a behavior section, and you got it same in ZorinOS 18. So you also have actions right here as well. So that is the taskbar settings panel. So let's close this off and we'll go down to fonts. Again, you can change the fonts here and change the size. If you need larger fonts, you can do that right there as well. And let's go down and take a look at the next option available. So inside here, we can see we're in the middle of the screen right here now. Let me just put this back in Zorin Appearance right here. I'm going to go on the left-hand side for this one right up here. So there we go. And that should put it back. And you can customize it the way you like. You can see the cursor's quite small on this one. You can make that larger as well, just as you can inside Windows. And if you want to download software, you can download it from the software area right here. All you need to do here is search for the software that you want to install and go ahead and install it onto the system. So what about software compatibility? Well, this is a Linux operating system. Some software that used to work on Windows is not going to work on Linux. They do have alternatives which you can use, and you can do a search for those inside their software panel. If you need any help converting to a different type of software that does work on Linux, then let me know in the comments section down below or join my Discord server and I will help you the best I can over there. There is some software that does work on Linux and does work on Windows as well, like Audacity, and there's some other software. But there is some that will not work, and you will need to find alternatives, unless you can use one of the workarounds that some Linux users use to be able to use Windows software on Linux. We're not going to get too heavily into that in this video, but next I want to show you the file system right here so you can see what it looks like. Because most people get terrified of Linux, but really you don't have to. It is very easy to navigate and use. You won't need to use the terminal all the time like people always say in some of the comments. You can use it just like I'm showing you right here. You've got all of your home area, which gives you all of your desktop documents, downloads, music, public templates and videos and stuff like that, all inside here. And you've also got them down on the left hand side. So you can expand the windows just like you would inside Windows. There's no data on here because we've just installed this on the system, but it just looks and feels like Windows, but it's just a different operating system. And for most people that just want to surf the web, look at YouTube, do some emails, and do basic computing tasks, then this will be perfectly fine for you. So down on the bottom right here, you've got a very familiar section, just like Windows. You've got your power mode right here set to balance. You've got your internet connection, which is wired, and your style, and you've got your cube right here. So you've got all your usual stuff down the bottom for your audio, just like you would on Windows. It's just a different operating system, that's all. So all you need to do here now is you can shut down and restart or sign out on the power button icon down there as well. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into the settings panel. And this is just like, say, a Windows settings panel, but it's on Linux. You've got your Bluetooth, your display, your sound, your power, your multitasking, your appearance, apps, notifications, search, online accounts, and sharing, and so on. This is the settings panel for the Zorin OS 18, and you can see we've got your applications right here. We can go ahead and look inside here at some of the applications that you have installed on your system as well. And again, we've got the search and online accounts. This is for your Google account, Microsoft account. They're all in one little place right here, which makes it nice and easy to find. And also you've got your media sharing and so on. So that is your mouse and touchpad. If you're on a laptop, or you're on or you've got a mouse, so you want to change your settings, that's right there. You've got your keyboard section right here, and also printers. If you need to add a printer, you can add a printer right here by clicking Add Printer, and you can add your printer to the computer. Let's take a quick look inside privacy and security. There's a few options available in here, like connectivity, screen lock, location, and obviously that's self-explanatory right there. And we also have some other options available inside here as well. So let me just quickly go back here. And we also have file history and wastebasket right there, and connectivity. So what if you want to install some software like a browser or something like that of your choice? Well, you can go into the software panel right here and do a search for the browser that you want to use if you don't want to use Brave. Well, all you need to do right here is do, say, Chromium, click on Chromium, whatever version you want to install, and it should download it and install it on the system. And again, you can uninstall software as well in a normal way by using the uninstall feature, just as you would on Windows. So let's go ahead, and what we want to do now is close that off. I'm going to go to the Start button here, go All Apps, and you should see what we've just installed here, which is Chromium. I can right-click on this and pin to dash, and this is your dashboard right there. So we should see it right here. So that is installing the browser that you of your choice. And what we're going to do right here is go to, and like I mentioned earlier, there is this section here, Windows App Support. This is for running Windows apps inside Zorin OS with wine and bottles. So you can use that right here and set this up, install this on the system, and you'll be able to get some Windows apps running inside your Zorin OS operating system. And if you need an Office package installed on the system, it's already pre-installed. It's called LibreOffice right here. We can go to Office and look at, say, a Word equivalent called LibreOffice Writer. And you can see right here, it looks exactly like Word, but again, it's not a Microsoft product. And it's already pre-installed on the system. Now, it's broken down into System Tools, Software and Video, Office, Internet, Graphics, and Accessories and Utilities. You can see right here, you can go through and have a look at some of these. You've got your weather files, text editor, and so on. And then you've also got some other areas inside here for some of the other applications that are pre-installed straight out of the box. So there are your applications there that are pre-installed on here. Remember, you can uninstall some of these if you want to. And if you want to know how to change your wallpaper background, it's pretty straightforward in settings and appearance. They've got some pre-installed wallpapers here which you can choose from, or you can download some off the internet and use which ones you want to use on your system. You just click on them and it will change the wallpaper background just like that. And that's pretty much it. That is ZorinOS 18. It's not as difficult as you may think. Whether you're bored with Windows or tired of Microsoft, you can try ZorinOS 18 for free. Install it on your system. You will get security updates on your system. You will not be left out in the cold like Microsoft have done to millions of people and millions of computers. Anyway, with that said, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a big shout out to all my YouTube members. I appreciate the support and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.